Good morning everyone, and welcome to a beautiful snowy morning here in West Wales. You're joining me as I set off into what promises to be a really good day of photography. I was truly blessed with this early morning light, and although I had a long walk ahead of me, I couldn't resist breaking out my long lens to capture the glow over the mountains. I didn't know it at the time, but the tranquility of the morning was soon about to come to an abrupt end. So come along for the journey as we leave behind the warmth of the van, the stillness of the morning, and head out into the elements, all in the name of landscape photography.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get up to the water and see what lies waiting over there. I think by that point the sun will be well and truly up, and it'll probably be in the clouds because it looks like there's a break on the horizon, but after that it's just clouds, so we will lose this light very quickly. But I'm not too bothered. That's not what I came out for. It was a nice little bonus to have this little patch of light this morning. Right, slight change of plan. So the road that I was going to drive down last night takes me down that way, and that leads directly to the lakes, but actually we've still got a little bit of light rolling around, and I've got this footpath up here which takes me up this mountain, so I'm going to take a chance on that. I'm going to stomp up there and see if we can find a view from the top of there just while we've got a little bit of light left, and we'll carry on from there. This is getting really difficult. The snow is coming up to the top of my wellies, and now that I'm approaching the summit, I'm getting incredible gusts of wind just blowing all this fresh snow straight into my face. Really, really difficult conditions. Oh man, but I am nearly at the top, so I'll push on, get to the summit, and see what we can see from there. We've just got, I don't know if you can see, we're just getting our first view of the lakes. So, I don't know, maybe it'll be too difficult to get a shot from up here. My wellies are well and truly getting buried in this snow, but we're so close to the top, so we've got to get up there and see if we can get a shot. I can't look that way, it hurts so much. The ice in the air and the wind. Oh man, this is ridiculous. Woo.
Yeah, it was getting pretty wild up there, as you can see, so I abandoned the idea of getting an image and headed back down towards those lakes. I did keep my eyes open for images as I made my way back down, but I had my sights set on something a little bit more intimate, where I could slow down and be more deliberate with my photography. I will admit though, it was pretty fun battling my way up to that summit. For me, it's as much about experiencing the weather conditions as it is capturing them. So although no images materialised from the top, I was having a great time.
Alright, so that mountain right at the top, just there, that's where I just was. And we're back down on the road now. The road that I was trying to drive down last night. But as you can see, it's completely snowed out. I never would have made it down here, not in my van. But we are going to carry on foot and get to those lakes, see if we can get a shot. The light has completely gone, which in many ways, I don't mind. I don't mind that, because now what that means is the pressure's off and we can just enjoy some photography at a leisurely pace and just really enjoy the morning, slow down and take in some of these incredible views. So that's what we're going to do. Let's carry on. All right, you can just see now we're kind of in line with that first little lake. there's no footpath to get there. We just need to kind of pick our way over these hills and down, so I'll take it nice and steady. Obviously you can't see what's underfoot, so you just have to go nice and slow and pick your route out. It's kind of good wearing wellies because you can't really roll your ankle wearing wellies, so that's a bonus. You wouldn't want to do that out here. You would not want to get stranded out here today. Right, I think I've spotted a composition. I'm yet to get over there to have a proper look, but there's a problem because between here and there, it's a complete bog. And although it's frozen, in places where I'm treading, I'm just going straight through it and I'm going into icy cold water, and I've nearly lost my wellies already a couple of times. It's absolutely treacherous and could potentially be pretty dangerous. So I just need to be very careful as I pick my way over there. But I'm quite sure there's a composition there. There's a beautiful snowdrift that's created this S-bend on the frozen lake. Could be a really, really nice shot. Just got the grasses poking up through it, and you've got the snowy mountains in the background. It should come together perfectly for a composition, but as is often the case in landscape photography, it's never easy, and in this case the hurdle is to get across this bog. So let's see if we can get over there. Right, I think this is about as far as I can safely get. Sadly, there's a stream crossing in front of me, and it's blocking where I want to get to. It's too deep to stand in, it's too wide to jump over, it's just not safe. So this is going to be the resting place for this shot. I think it should still work. I can see the image from here. I think I just need to get high enough on my tripod to get that kind of angle that I need to show off the S-bend in the water. Right, change of plan. I am struggling to get anything filmed from here. The tripod is a no-go. It's just so boggy, it's sinking in. I was going to do a long exposure, but it's so uneven, it's so boggy, and I don't really feel safe, so I'm working handheld. I can still get the shot. I've had a look on the back of the camera. I can get my shutter speed high enough whilst keeping my ISO down at 100 to get the shot. I need a shutter of probably at least 200th of a second because we've got a lot of movement in the grass. We've got quite a bit of a breeze coming across, so I need to make sure that grass is nice and sharp. I don't want any motion blur in this image. So with that in mind, I can get the shot. 250th of a second I can get at f5.6 whilst keeping my ISO down at 100. It is actually pretty bright out now, so that's great. So I'm going to get this shot handheld, vertical composition, which actually probably has worked in my favour because I can reach higher than my tripod can reach, so I can get a better vantage point. So it kind of works out in that way, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. So I am still manually focusing, even though I'm handheld, on the reeds in about a third of the way into the image, and we're just using that little island there on the water as the foreground, including a little bit of the grasses that are just in the very near foreground as well, just to anchor everything down. And that's it, simple as that, handheld, easy stuff. And actually, while I've been walking around, I have noticed this stream that was stopping me from crossing to get into that composition could actually work very well as a composition itself. So we're going to head a little bit further up the stream here and see if we can use the curve of this water leading down to this lake to make an image. Right, I'll switch to the GoPro because all my camera gear is dying, my video camera is dying, microphone's dying, and it just shows the effect the weather can have on your gear. Fortunately, I've got plenty of batteries for this thing, and this is the one that really matters. As I'm walking around the perimeter of this lake, I've spotted this beautiful.
And there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. That is the sound of snow entering the jack on my camera and destroying the audio, so you will now have to listen to me through voiceover as I explain what I was rambling on about in this clip. I was just explaining how the snow had been blown across the frozen lake, leaving these beautiful trails reaching out into the scene and really leading the eye up into the surrounding hills. I wanted to demonstrate how desolate and isolated it felt when I was stood out there, so I opted to shoot a panoramic image to emphasise that feeling. I'm just piecing things together here to bring all the elements into frame as I sweep across, taking a series of handheld images which can always be a bit of a gamble. But let's have a look at how the final image came out. Content with my efforts around that frozen lake, I turned my attention to the long walk back. Fatigue was beginning to set in after spending close to 4 hours in the mountains in sub-zero temperatures, with another hour yet to walk before I was back to the van. But little did I know, I'd spot one more composition before my day was through.
Right, we're about 20 minutes away from the van, and I've just spotted a little composition. We've got a stream just running up through the hills off into the distance. Makes for a nice little shot, so I'm going to grab that, and I think that'll be a nice end to a snowy morning out in the mountains. I'm not grabbing my main camera out, I'm just using this Sony ZV-E10. This is what I use to make all my YouTube videos. Actually, it's a great option for when you are out on those longer walks and you don't want to bring a big camera. It takes the E-mount lenses, so I can chuck all my lenses on this. So I usually just throw a little prime lens on there when I'm out with the family or on those longer walks. But for stuff like this as well, when I don't want to grab my camera out, it's the perfect option. So I can get down here, no faff, and get this shot of the water just running up towards that little knoll up there. So I'm gonna grab that shot, 25th of a second, get a bit of movement in the water, and yeah, nice little ender there, I think, to a beautiful morning out in the mountains. Well, would you believe it? I've just got down to the water, started framing my shot up, and the battery died. So I'm going to take that as fate, that it is worth getting my camera out and getting this shot. So we may as well do a proper job of it, haven't we, now that we're down here. I've got my bag on my back, so let's get it framed up, and we'll see if we can make this work for the final shot of the morning.
Once I was happy with my composition, I grabbed my polarizer to remove some of the glare from the water and reveal some detail in the rocks. I then added a 2-stop soft edge neutral density filter to just pull the sky back, because I felt it was a bit too bright in the image and really wanted to show the waterfall to be the prominent feature in the frame. I decided on a 25th of a second shutter speed to show the flow of the water, but without losing all the detail as it cascaded over the rocks. With all that done, I set a 2-second timer to avoid any camera shake and hit the shutter.